Welcome to episode 1 of the BizOwner360 series. I'm excited to bring you a new episode each week. Our focus continues to be helping bootstrapping entrepreneurs and business owners break through and enjoy the freedom and flexibility of running their own business. Today I'm starting with why 10 million and why 10 million should be the objective of every business owner. If you've been a listener of the show for a while, you know I talk about two stats. One is only 1 out of 10 business owners for that matter, make it to the $1 million revenue mark. And then only 1 out of 100 actually make it to 10 million. So if we do a little bit of the backwards math, that means, 10% of the folks that get to $1 million get to 10 million, right? So to me, that's where the biggest opportunity is. Because if you've got your business to $500,000 in revenue, $1 million in revenue, there's no reason why you can't grow your business to 10 million. There's just not. It's going to become an execution issue. And how do you scale your business, right? Especially if you're bootstrapped, you're not going to be able to throw a ton of cash and just go buy a customer. So you're going to have to be strategic and intentional about how you grow your business. And I think that's where the biggest opportunity for a lot of these business owners is how do we get you over that hump? So what I want to do with this series is start to break down in tactical, strategic, small episodes, kind of what that roadmap looks like. But I thought we'd start with the 10 million and why I use that number. And it's not just because of those two stats. It's when I started to dig in with, some of the guests on the podcast, Dominic Rinaldi from a private equity firm, talked about the 10 million being the sweet spot, or at least a threshold where some of the smaller private equity firms would be interested in your business, whether to buy it or to invest in it. We've obviously had a number of venture capital folks on the podcast as well, and I'll link to them in the show notes. And they also talk about the 10 million being if you really want the Series A to really grow and scale your business, that's the number. That's when you're going to get the best valuation, right? If it's earlier, you're going to give up a much bigger part of the company than maybe you had to. And that's why I'm such an advocate for the bootstrapping, at least until you get to the 10 million. Now, there's obviously cases why you can't do that and you need to raise money sooner. But I think it's really about focusing on the business. And then quite honestly, the last piece of the 10 million, if you're looking just to sell the business, right, it was a good run, you want to get out, you know what, that valuation is going to be the highest when you get to the 10 million. So there's a lot of synergy around the 10, and that's really around the flexibility, right? Whether you want to raise more capital and try to grow the business, again, try to sell the business, or just take on a partner to, right, take out a little bit of the capital that you've earned within growing that business. So, but I think the flip side, but the other benefit of that 10 million is the flexibility of what you're going to be doing in that business, right? In the early days, $500,000 probably involved in every one of the jobs, right? Sales, marketing, delivery, product, et cetera. And if you get it to 10, there's no way that you're running all those jobs. You're not a blocker anymore. And then you can kind of pick and choose, what aspects of the job you want to do. And quite honestly, if you're a doer and you like being in the day-to-day of it, then you don't necessarily have to grow it to the 10 million, right? But I think at that point, it just is the flexibility. And so for the purpose of the podcast, both the micro episodes and the full episodes, we want to bring the guests that are in those trenches, helping business owners grow their business. Because at the end of the day, the saying is, you're working 60 hours so you don't have to work 40 hours. Well, wouldn't it be nice if you're putting those 60 hours in and actually getting a return for your investment? So like I said, I think the opportunity's there. If you've got $500,000 in revenue, $1 million in revenue, you've obviously got customers that like you. It's just how can we put the systems in place to help you get to that next level? And unfortunately, there's no hacks or quick hits. There's some things you can do to take some of the bumps out of the process, but it's still going to have to be a system in order to do it. So anyway, that is the goal of this podcast and of the interview portion of the podcast on the 0 to 10 is to provide those strategies, the tactics, the stories from the business owners who have actually done that. So that's going to be it here for episode 1. Hope you enjoy listening. Next week, a little sneak peek, we'll get into why owners can't scale, right? Why they can't grow their business. And the term I use is owner's capacity, right? You're involved in every aspect of the business. You're doing, like I said, sales, marketing, taking the orders. And if you sell it, then you've got to deliver it. And you're your own worst enemy. You got to get out of your own way. And so we'll talk about some of the reasons that happens and some strategies to get out of that. So again, thank you for listening and thank you for the support of the podcast. And if you do like it, please do share with friends or folks you think may be interested. And please do subscribe, iTunes, Spotify, Overcast, wherever your podcast platform is choice. And again, thank you for listening. Have a great rest of your day. Cheers.